Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Out there in the non-space or the void that is the internet, can you hear me? Transmissions to Earth, can you hear me? In the chat, if you can hear me, say something.
Come in, Major Tom.
Yes, where's Major Tom? Ground control.
He's nodding off somewhere.
I'm not seeing any comments. Okay, well, let's keep talking with the hopes that they can... Okay, so it looks like they can hear us.
Excellent.
Oh, you like Ike. Good morning, everybody. All right, well, one more time. Can you hear me? Loud and clear. All right, that's good. Well...
Can we get a what up, Chris?
How many people actually even know what that reference is in the audience? Seriously. You've got to ask yourself, how many people in the audience are old enough to know what the fuck that reference is?
I couldn't even begin to guess.
So am I supposed to say, I'm about to, and then you're going to say, it's what I was born to do?
Exactly.
And then you're going to wear your clothing backwards?
Mm-hmm. And jump.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well... After that wonderful adventure in technical difficulties, or a very stupid internal engineering error in StreamYard, I'm beginning to wonder if their interface was designed by engineers and not UI designers.
I think that is definitely the case.
Because now people out there, for instance, Eric, the last Echo,
mm-hmm.
I know what was going wrong with your computer. Wasn't you. I can tell you how to fix it. You can come on the show now.
Yay!
And anyone else who makes this complaint, I can explain why it happens. But anyway, we're doing Skinwalker Ranch. But first, we'll do the intro. Hello and welcome to Ishi's Great Big Alien Show. Yes, the Great Big Alien Show, where you get the full gray alien. I pull off the head, I deactivate the suit, crawl out, and it's just me. I stop pretending to be a non-believer, a logical skeptic who says that there is a rational explanation for everything, and say, no, that rational explanation is that it's all true, or at least usually, or it's Walter's fault.
Yes, that's true. This is the time when Ishi fully exposes himself to everyone.
To the world, yes.
Speaking of Ishi, Ishi has something to say. Ishi had a confession to me the other night.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
No, I don't recall.
No?
I don't remember it.
You don't remember talking to me the other night?
No,
on exactly how long it is that you have been here on this planet?
Okay, so I said I've been here for at least about 100 years. Technically, that's true if you count in orbit. Okay? With frequent, maybe bi-monthly trips to the surface and a few infiltration jobs, mainly just plucking people out of the room and then putting them back.
Or mutilating goats.
I wasn't in that department. No, we don't mutilate goats. That was Walter. We mutilate cows occasionally.
Oh, okay.
To try and synthesize beef so we can have barbecue.
There must be a McDonald's on every planet.
But if you count, frequent trips to the surface for brief periods of time, sometimes less than about 4 hours. I've been here for 100 years. I've abducted my share of ladies. So there.
Okay. No, don't you feel better?
And it wasn't until I abducted a certain lovely lady that I decided, well, maybe I want to spend my life with her.
Aww.
And so I registered to do a deep infiltration and get a human suit, and I came to Earth.
So,
I haven't really been here that long. I mean, how long have you, at 13 years old, what kind of mistakes did you make?
This explains to our lovely audience exactly why you don't understand how orange juice works.
Well, I didn't.
No, or pancakes.
How? Look, we made our own pancakes based on what we observed, and they tasted awful. I didn't understand that. We didn't know the difference between baking soda and flour. Okay.
That's an explosive mistake.
We tried our best. We just figured that it was a human thing.
Well, still, that's very sweet that you stayed on Earth because of me. No, don't you feel better sharing that with our audience?
Not really.
No.
No.
No, but they understand.
I'm sure they understand.
They sympathize with you. You know, we've all had that fish out of water moment.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
Or that gray out of space moment.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. So tonight we're skipping the questions and all the other fun stuff and going straight to the show because we have a lot to cover.
Oh yeah.
Skinwalker Ranch.
This is the the paranormal equivalent of a 1 pound sack.
Yes. Yes, this is 10 tons of paranormal shit in a 1 pound sack.
Wow. So exactly what is it that we are stepping in, getting ourselves into here?
Well, we are getting into the paranormal hotspot that has something for everybody.
Really?
Or at least we think. But I know the truth.
Yes?
Yes, and the truth may surprise you.
Okay.
So let's do an introduction. Do the honors, Kat.
Okay. Skinwalker Ranch, also known as Sherman Ranch, is a 512-acre patch of land located southeast of Ballard, Utah. Its name is from the Skinwalker of Navajo legend concerning vengeful werewolf shaman. Some say the land is cursed. Others claim it to be a paranormal hotspot or a nexus where parallel dimensions meet. Regardless, Skinwalker Ranch is infamous for its 50-year history of being the site of various unexplained events.
So, what do you make of that?
Well, there's been many places that have that claim to fame. Usually.
Well, isn't there some sort of paranormal gravity hotspot at Knott's Berry Farm that you guys have?
What, like the haunted shack?
Yeah, you took it to me. You were showing me all the gravity anomalies that are right there.
I'm sorry. I thought you knew that it was an optical illusion.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry.
I hate you guys.
What?
I just thought, you were like, look at our awesome gravity anomalies. And
what, like the rolling the bottle up a hill or being able
to...
Well,
those exist. I mean, gravity anomalies are real. I just figured, okay, you guys found one on your planet. And
well, that's true. But, wouldn't that logically throw off the spin of our planet?
No, not a small localized one.
Well, true.
No, not at all.
No. Although I suppose you could see it more like a glitch in the Matrix.
Look, your planet's between the sun and the moon, and that keeps it pretty fucking stable.
That's true.
Okay. So what's a skinwalker?
Well, a skinwalker is a shaman that wears the skins of animals in order to take on their attributes. Most famously depicted in the Mystery Science Theater film Werewolf.
In which apparently the Navajo word is Yanaglanchi, but we found out that was a people who didn't speak
Navajo attempting to say the word.
Yeah, well, it was a German and a Mexican kept trying to say it.
Yeah.
Both playing Americans.
No, but Joe Estevez was trying to play a Navajo.
Yeah.
So
Yanaglanchi.
It's like what?
Yeah, or whatever. It was a Yaya Nan
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like.
yeah,
But I'm not Navajo. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, I'm gonna slaughter it.
All right, so let's do a laundry list of what's claimed at Skinwalker Ranch.
Well, so before we get into what is claimed at Skinwalker Ranch, it supposedly has a 50-year history. So is this something like nothing happened before that 50 years, or is it just 50 years recorded?
50 years recorded, and that 50 years I think includes a UFO sighting in the 70s.
Okay. Your people?
Probably.
Okay. So yes, let's
look. The Pacific Northwest and Southwest are hot spots in general for us.
That's true. You do like the beaches. You know, those big eyes of yours are kind of like sunglasses. You know. Anyway.
But that's a nictating membrane, and it's not like they are.
Yes.
Okay, should I explain the eyes?
Yeah, explain the eyes.
Okay, our eyes actually look a lot like yours. They're just bigger. I mean, a lot like yours. And that's why some of the reports you'll get the drawings, and they'll draw, having a sclera and an iris and a pupil. And then you'll get lots of more. It's just a big black, eye. And that's just a nictating membrane that comes down because our eyes are light sensitive. And sometimes, depending on what part of our planet you are from, a porch light or the light of the moon is like staring into the sun for you guys. So we lower the nictating membrane, and it acts like a welding mask.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So no big deal.
No. So, all right. So let's go over the list of phenomena at this location. So, shall I do the honors, or do you want to?
I want you.
All right.
I want you.
Well, I want you. No, wait, later. If stories are to be believed, the ranch is host to the following phenomena: werewolves, crop circles, UFO sightings, orb sightings, ghosts, Indian shaman ghosts, because apparently Indian shaman ghosts are different than normal ghosts, cattle mutilations, military stealth planes, men in black, witches, Bigfoot, demonic possessions. Wow, this is a shit show, isn't it? Gray aliens and alien abductions, and gunfights with aliens. Cowboys and aliens.
Look, there is one
at the Skinwalker
one guy
Ranch.
that was there for a while who claimed that he gunned down 11 of my kind with a shotgun when we tried to take his wife. He's full of shit. When we do the abduction process, we gear up with these belts, and you can't see them, they're very thin, that allow us to phase in and out of the fifth dimension. Those shotgun pellets would have just gone right through us. We come through the walls, we touch the person, levitate them out. So he's full of shit. That didn't happen. And furthermore, if they're there, where are the bodies, huh?
Well, exactly. Yeah, where are the bodies?
Now, I can understand nabbing his wife if she had been hot. I don't know. We do that.
I was gonna ask, was she worth grabbing? Was she at least fertile?
I don't know. He looked like one of the characters from Beavis and Butthead's Neighborhood.
What about her?
I don't know.
Does she actually exist?
Probably not. Is about as real as Tom King's wife.
Oh shit!
Right.
Ouch.
So okay, now let's get into the real hard history.
Okay.
The real nuts and bolts of the Skinwalker Ranch phenomena, because it didn't really get notoriety until about the mid-90s, despite the other rumors. So this is a bit of a mouthful. And if you want to stop between these and discuss any, go ahead.
Okay. The ranch first started getting real notoriety in the mid-90s when it was purchased by Terry and Gwen Sherman, two rich city folk who had dreams of running a cattle ranch. So really nothing happened until the 90s, not the 60s. 70s, yeah.
70s.
So really nothing happened until the 90s because, let's face it, especially in the 70s, if you had a ranch that was full of this much weird ass shit, especially with the Manson family and, Jonestown.
Well, a lot of people don't recall this, but in the 1970s, there was an explosion of interest in the paranormal. And unlike the 90s where it was all about UFOs, in this, Bigfoot was a big deal. Aliens were a big deal. Ancient aliens were a big deal. Ghosts. It was more of a just smorgasbord type of thing.
I would argue that the 90s were also a smorgasbord. It's just that the main attraction was aliens.
I mean, Sid and Marty Krofft actually had, for a short time, a show about Bigfoot. I forget what it was called. It was like Bigfoot and Nature Boy or some shit like that. I don't remember.
Was this in the same vein of Land of the Lost?
Kinda.
Wow.
And the Bionic Man. It merged Bigfoot and aliens together, and ancient aliens.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's true. Cause about that era's obsession with those things. Because there was that episode of The Bionic Man with Bigfoot.
Yeah, and Bigfoot was apparently a robot, I think.
Yeah, it was. It was animatronic.
I actually watched that show quite a bit. Although I thought The Bionic Woman was actually a little better written.
Wasn't it also a trope of that era where there always had to be at least one paranormal story?
Oh yeah. Well, the Dukes of Hazzard even had a Roswell episode.
Yeah, they had an alien in the trunk, a la Repo Man, right?
No. A UFO crashed in Hazard County, and I think Box Hog wanted to sell the surviving alien for money.
Oh, God.
And the Duke boys helped him get home, and they were calling him Little Cousin.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty bad.
And isn't this also the era of Kolchak?
Oh, absolutely. That was the high point.
So,
the thing was, I had to be older before I really got that, but yeah.
So, yeah, this era, people would have jumped at the chance to see a ranch in Utah that had paranormal shit happening.
Oh, yeah.
So there's really no reason why nothing was reported until the 90s for this place.
Yeah. And speaking of the episode of The Bionic Woman, by the way, where it was like supposed to be Hal, but it was actually kind of like GLaDOS, where this AI had taken over a complex and was trying to kill the Bionic Woman as she infiltrated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was great, but it scared the hell out of me as a child.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to track that down. I loved AI stories when I was a kid. Like, my favorite episodes of Small Wonder were with Les. So, but anyway, to continue, but then the cattle all started dying, or rather mutilated by an oddly surgical and bloodless manner. Okay, during the 15 months they lived there. During the 15 months they lived there, the couple, their teenage son, and their 10-year-old daughter saw 3 specific types of UFOs: discs, orbs, and flying triangles.
And triangles are your guys' ones.
Yeah?
Those belong to your Air Force and your CIA. It's not our fault.
Well, I remember watching an episode of Sightings in the 90s where they did talk about the triangles and mutilating animals. I know you've already said that your people mutilated cattle, but I remember
for barbecue.
But I remember that they talked about seeing the triangles over an area, and when they went in there, they found mutilated animals. And
that was because your government was trying to keep track of loose radiation.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. I had seen that there was a theory that they were actually trying out new medical equipment that was top secret and in the Black Patent Office at the time.
Oh, they might have been using that to do it.
Mm.
But no, there were various areas where the underground nukes tests had actually been bubbling up and leaking, and they couldn't tell the public. So they were using mainly black helicopters to go out, and they would test, I believe, the lymph nodes in the milk of cows.
Because radiation gathers in lactose.
And the last thing you want to do is actually walk around and visibly say, yeah, we want to test your cows for radiation.
Just picturing AIM showing up on somebody's property.
Exactly. Or you say, if they blame it on my people, well, there you go. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
Try file that with the insurance.
Yeah, no one's going to believe you. So, okay, they say that they saw discs and orbs. So, which type are your people's?
Well, we primarily use discs and boomerangs.
Okay. So, what's the orbs?
Oh, the glowing orb lights?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probes? Couldn't ghosts?
You don't know.
Not my fault.
It truly is an unidentified flying object.
Camera distortion?
Okay, that works. So what we've already discussed that. Never mind. They also saw exotic multicolored birds. Which, how strange. Macaws showed up. It's like, well, yeah, that's strange, but that's not really paranormal.
Sometimes it doesn't take much.
I mean, there was a flock of macaws that lived in San Diego, so that's not really, it's odd, but it's not paranormal.
You remember when we were first dating and I'd come to your house and there would be like a peacock on the roof at random?
Yeah.
That was bizarre. I walk out and there's a peacock sitting on my car.
Yep.
It's like, okay.
You just sit there.
Where the hell were those coming from?
Oh, they're coming from the ranch, actually, from the Scripps Ranch.
Oh, all right.
But I mean, those peacocks came from quite a ways because the ranch was over 2 miles away.
Oh, okay.
So they like to sit on people's cars in our old neighborhood. Anyway, so exotic multicolored birds and a tall dark beast that resembled a Bigfoot. A Bigfoot, not the Bigfoot, a Bigfoot. So that is the other thing. Is Bigfoot a species or is Bigfoot a particular entity? That is one thing I legitimately want to know.
I'm going to repeat. Just because I'm from outer space doesn't mean I have all the answers. Fucker lives on your planet. Well, you should know better than me.
No, I'm asking just in general. I mean, because I had always heard of like Bigfoot, his species being, quote, Sasquatch. Of course, I've also heard that Sasquatch is a different species, just like how the stink ape is supposed to be a different species. So God knows.
My curvaceous, beautiful, lovely wife.
Yes.
You're the cryptid expert. You tell me. I don't live here.
Well, that's one actually in all of my I'm not kidding. I've been trying to figure this out. Out of all of my research, that's the one thing that people have not been able to decide upon is whether or not Bigfoot is a species or Bigfoot is the name for a particular entity.
Oh, so there might be a species of Sasquatch and then they've got their celebrity named Bigfoot.
Yeah, Bigfoot being the one that whose territory is, what was that, Oregon? Washington? The Oregon, Washington
Don't
area?
ask me. You're the cryptid expert. I don't know any of this stuff.
It's been a while. Anyway, if anybody knows if Bigfoot is the name of a creature or a species, please let me know.
So Bigfoot's kind of like the Hulk Hogan of the species, where he comes out and makes a real ass of himself and then runs off.
Exactly.
Okay.
Is there a species of Hulk Hogans? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm stuck on the idea of multicolored birds and a creature that looks like Bigfoot.
Maybe the orc knows.
Maybe the orc does know. I also wonder if Utah is home to bears because bears with mange can look like Bigfoot and they're pretty fucking scary. One night, a flying light followed Gwen Sherman on her drive home. On another, while Terry was out in the fields when he heard male voices speaking an unfamiliar language. You dripping balls again there, Terry? They seemed to be speaking about 25 feet above him. His dog went crazy. Actually, both of those things are pretty normal. I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, but okay, if you're out in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere in Utah, don't you at least have fireflies, if not maybe, swamp lights? Things like that. I mean, strange lights in the middle of fucking nowhere in a wood. I'm not actually shocked by that. And as far as sounds of male voices speaking in an unfamiliar language, well, maybe it's those multicolored birds that were apparently living there.
That's actually a really good explanation. If it's a macaw.
Yeah, if it's a macaw imitating people, especially if they came from another country.
I was under the impression maybe it was just all the Jack Daniels he was drinking.
Oh, probably a combination. And, yeah, his dogs would go crazy if there were, macaws in the trees, harassing them.
Didn't you say in some countries they would assume the macaws were actually evil spirits in the woods or in the jungle?
Yeah. Well, the macaws developed parrots in general and some corvids developed the ability to mimic different sounds in order to confuse predators and confuse things, creatures that are nearby. Parrots, on the other hand, find it hilarious to do it as well. And
of course,
they will purposely harass humans with strange noises and sounds. That's why they tend to figure out the most annoying thing to repeat back to you if you own one.
Oh, so that would mean why we came across the one scarlet macaw that had learned shut the fuck up.
Yes.
And kept squawking it.
Yes.
You know, at our old place, for a brief while, we had a neighbor with a scarlet macaw. I know we're going way off topic. And I don't know how the hell it learned this, but the owner either had a sick sense of humor or watched a lot of horror movies, because the thing in like the middle of the day or middle of it, I'm going to kill you.
Yep.
Satan. I'm killing you.
Yeah.
It was just over and over
again. And when we first moved there, we had no idea there was a bird in the complex.
Yeah, we thought it was like some kid or somebody just.
Yeah, but we couldn't figure out where it was coming from.
It kept saying shit like, Satan is watching, and it's like,
yeah.
He wasn't the dude in the military. I think he was.
I never saw him, so I don't know. I just know that the bird was hidden behind a screen on the patio.
It would just say the most screwed up shit.
Yeah. It was hilarious. I mean, it was fun, and except for the fact the bird would do that at all hours. So.
Oh, that, and it figured out how to do the sound of a dump truck backing up.
Yeah.
And like 2 a.m, you'd hear that.
That was the most annoying sound.
Yeah, coming from like the courtyard.
Yes.
Like, there's a dump truck in the courtyard.
Yeah, that one especially. I was like, what the hell is that? So
and a telephone ringing.
And the telephone ringing, yes. Yeah, an old school telephone.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
I think it was because his owner
had it set on his cell phone. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally would buy that if a flock of macaws are living in the nearby trees. It was, they were probably saying weird shit to this guy. The most chilling story is when Gwen Sherman was in her car and encountered a wolf that was so large its back was parallel with the top of her window. Okay. The large wolf was accompanied by a dog-like animal, like maybe a wolf, that she couldn't identify. So you could identify a gigantic car-sized wolf, but you couldn't identify a dog-sized animal. Okay. She described it as low to the ground, heavily muscled, weighing perhaps 200 pounds. Wolverine?
Yeah.
With curly red hair. Oh, it's Kronk. Okay.
This hair's not curly.
No, but it's red. With curly red hair and a bushy tail. No, not Kronk. He does not have a bushy tail. So it's a giant squirrel. So she found a giant ground squirrel, or maybe a chipmunk. When this creature later arrived at their home, so what? It followed her in her car? It didn't beat her at home? Okay. It tore the head off. It tore the head off a horse, reenacting a scene from The Godfather.
Wilbur,
Well, no, just okay. So when the creature later arrived at their home, so what? It meandered on the road after she saw them, completely ignoring the human in the car, but going to their house anyway and randomly killing a horse. That makes no sense.
I didn't make the story up.
I'm not blaming this on you. I'm just saying that there's certain flaws in this tale. When Terry tried to shoot it, the monster was bulletproof. You sure it's just not like a bear? Because, bears can take a shotgun blast and, seem to not be phased, especially when they get pissed off. I mean, they get to they get rage points to the point where their bodies don't know they're dead yet, and they'll continue to charge at you.
Well, there are some pistol calibers that won't even penetrate their hide.
Yeah. Well, fuck. I think the Vikings used to use their hide as armor. So, yeah, this sounds like a bear. Okay.
I don't know. Bears with curly red hair.
No. I mean the largest creature.
Okay.
Not the giant chipmunk.
Okay.
Or squirrel, I should say, since it had a bushy tail. While some adamantly believe the Shermans, no concrete evidence to their accounts has confirmed their story, which tells me they had no horse, because that should have been registered somewhere. Wouldn't you have like a vet come and say, vet, can you confirm that my horse's head has been ripped off? Or can you haul it away? Unless they, chopped it up and used the horse for sausage.
Can you sew it back on for a stock?
Yeah. Take it to the taxidermist. I mean, there's got to be some evidence that they even had a horse to be slaughtered by the giant bear.
So, what do you make of all this? Do you think that this shit really happened? Do you think there were scarlet macaws? Do you think that these are two rich city folk who had a failing cattle business and were trying to sell the house?
I think I believe the Chilean velociraptors more than these stories, quite frankly. Again, I've fully found a plausible explanation for, the strange voices and the dogs barking.
Yeah, it was a Yanaglanchi.
It's a Yanaglanchi. No, it's the macaws. Just nothing about this actually sounds plausible. Also, not only that, none of this fits known narratives of unexplained encounters with creatures such as Bigfoot or even the Mothman. Whether the creatures are nice or mean, these encounters do not follow the tropes of known encounters with these sorts of creatures. And not only that, plausible explanations can be thought up for everything, and there's no proof that any of this happened. If you have a horse corpse, there's fucking proof that this horse died, especially if its head was ripped off. I mean, wouldn't you call the sheriff at the very least? Go, sheriff, somebody done ripped my horse's head off.
You could do a comedy based on this.
Yeah, you could. Actually, yeah, if you did this as a comedy, like a comedy of errors, and even if the these things did happen in your comedy, it would totally work. Especially if nobody believes you. Okay.
You want to get to the next part?
Why, did you have a comment?
No,
okay.
I had nothing to add.
I'm finding myself adventures and awfuling this.
Yeah.
Failing at the cattle business. Oh, they had a failing cattle business. Okay. So I'm seeing them attempting to cash in somehow, maybe get some tourism, or at least get a insurance claim filed here.
Can you actually get coverage for Yanaglanchis ripping the heads off your horse and UFOs and... Oh, wait, there is abduction insurance.
There is abduction insurance, yeah. Yes. And then there's, I forget what the
particular... Yes, there really is alien abduction insurance.
Yes, there is. There really is. And I can get you that phone number if you wanted. No, there is a particular insurance...
maybe my people should hand those out. Just say, look, hey, look, you're going to miss some hours at work. You need this.
No, you make some money on the side because you know who bought what premium plan. So you know who to abduct and who not to abduct.
It's pretty logical.
Yeah. So anyway, failing at the cattle business, always a sign, follow the money. The couple sold the property to millionaire Robert Bigelow. That sounds like a fake name. A Nevada businessman who made his fortune building budget hotels. Oh, really? Okay. So we've got a Nevada businessman. So immediately I hear con artist. Later, Bigelow had dreams of opening the first hotel in space and founded Bigelow Aerospace.
This is all true.
The funny thing is I did look into Skinwalker Ranch as well, and I did find that this is true, that Bigelow is real, and he did found Bigelow Aerospace. Since then, he's worked with NASA selling cheap expandable space habitats. Also obsessed with the paranormal, Bigelow announced his plans to crack the mystery of Skinwalker Ranch by founding NIDSky, the National Institute of Discovery Science. Discovery Kids! What Bigelow claimed is to found
is
what Bigelow claimed is to have found the first big budget paranormal research organization founded in cooperation with the U.S. government. So basically, he turned Skinwalker Ranch into a side of the road tourist trap, not unlike The Thing.
The Thing? Explain The Thing.
Oh, you don't know about The Thing?
What's The Thing?
Oh my dear, we gotta go to The Thing, and it's just down the road, about 3 hours away. But we gotta go to The Thing. The Thing is a tourist trap, where supposedly in the 40s or 50s, a gentleman found what could be an alien and an alien baby. Maybe they are hybrids. Maybe they are all white.
They've got some of our dead?
He's got one of them, yeah, and a little baby too.
And they didn't return him to us?
No, it's a tourist trap where people can go and pay $5 to go see it. And from my understanding, the most recent renovation of the facility also talks about the great alien dinosaur wars, where the Greys have enslaved the dinosaurs and used them as beasts of burden, and then later the dinosaurs tried to overthrow their Grey overlords. But it's all done in speculation. What if this happened? It's not actually saying that it did, so I don't want to offend you, but that's the whole point of the trap. We gotta go. We gotta go see this.
So, this is the current state of Skinwalker Ranch.
Are you
This is their website.
Wow, their website looks early aughts.
Kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not quite 90s, but it's not modern. This is early aughts.
But as you can see, they've got stories of the ranch. They've got maps of where to go, including hotspots, hiking trails, the best places to see different things.
Wow.
So,
some of these maps don't look like they belong to anything. They just look like they're randomly there.
We've got a list of who's involved.
I like how it's called The Players, like it's all fake and these are the actors involved.
Oh, I wanted to see if they had a picture of the ranch now, because it even has a visitor center.
Oh, really? The entities.
You got a list of the
spotlight, flash drones.
Look, you've got almost a 50% chance of seeing the spotlight while you're there.
Of seeing a flashlight while you're there.
You've got a 25% chance of seeing a flare in the sky.
Yes, I'm seeing a flare.
Or, there's a 5-point...
An invisible chopper.
And the mini stealth drone, 7%.
What, the F-117?
The remote control plane, I guess.
You can buy those at a hobby shop.
I see bulletproof werewolf, 15%.
Will they shoot it to prove that it doesn't give a shit?
Controller, the Traveler, the Dark One. And you see there's percentages on all these.
A little girl. You only have a 2% chance of seeing a little girl while you're at the ranch.
30% of the Firefly spirits.
I would think it'd be 100% if it's the
Cthulhu
summer.
Cthulhu slug, unknown.
Cthulhu slug? Not much. Wait, no. I gotta read that one. Not much information is known about this creature, described as slimy, black, and slug-like, and or snake-like. This may be the same creature responsible for killing several swimmers in the nearby Bottle Hollow Reservoir, witnessed during daylight and evening hours.
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
god!
the glow birds.
You know what this is? This is every Goosebumps book come to life in one location.
And you can order books that have all been,
Holy fuck.
tie-ins, right? So you got their bookstore. You can buy their videos.
The UFO farm. I'm farming UFOs. What? It said the UFO farm.
Here's the guest center.
That looks CG'd.
Damn, actually, I was really hoping for a nice picture of the visitor center they've got.
Have
well.
you seen a picture of the visitor center?
Yeah, it's online somewhere.
Maybe do just a search of Skinwalker Ranch Visitor Center.
This better not be porn.
This better not be porn. Oh.
All right, let's see.
Oh yeah, they've got that TV show.
Well, I got to say I approve of the gate there. I'd want one of those.
That is pretty cool.
Let's see. Well, I don't know. I guess I can't find it. It's not that important.
Oh, so far they're just showing trees. I'm shocked they can't, find a single picture of one of these multicolored birds. Actually, the multicolored birds wasn't on that list. Did they finally figure out that they're just fucking birds? What the hell is that? It looks like a gaff.
What?
That thing.
This?
Yeah.
That apparently is the creature that tore the head off a horse.
That's a horrible Photoshop job.
Damn, well, never mind. So it's not that important.
Or is it an SPC?
So anyway, getting back to the show. Now for the truth.
Yes.
Because I have done a deep dive.
Yes.
And, I conferred with my people.
Mm-hmm.
We talked to them about it. This seemed a little blatant and a little over the top for anything we would do. We tend to be a bit more subtle.
Yeah, your people are a lot more subtle, or at least nobody believes those left behind.
Right, exactly. I mean, I'm a little shocked Walter isn't there.
Yeah, Walter would fit in quite nicely. They could put him on the payroll.
Yeah, exactly. But I did some deep digging, and sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction and a lot less spectacular, or maybe the other way around.
Okay.
I looked into this Robert Bigelow guy, and here's what happened. He'd been doing these cheap hotels around Vegas and been making good money. Then he decided he wanted to open this space hotel, and he started doing work with NASA, and he's founded Bigelow Aerospace. And, he started getting very vocal about UFOs existing. And he didn't even say without a shadow of a doubt. He kept saying, no, they're here. They're here. The aliens are already here. And he purchased Skinwalker Ranch, and he's like, I'm going to crack this. So he called up his good friend, Senator Harry Reid of Nevada.
He's friends with Harry Reid?
And Harry Reid started going around and saying, yeah, UFOs are real. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely real. And Reid said, so he told Reid, Bigelow told Reid, hey, I think the Pentagon needs a UFO division. And so Senator Reid, while he was still Senate House Majority Leader, found $2 million in the U.S. budget to go to the new UFO program.
Outside of NASA?
No, this was military budget.
Military budget. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Instead of going to bulletproof vests for our troops at the time who needed them.
This was the 90s, right?
No,
this was.
Oh wait. I don't know if this was the late 90s or the early 2000s.
Well, especially if it's early 2000s, that's fucked.
But dug up $2 million, $200 million from the military budget to have the Pentagon have an official UFO program. Then most of that $200 million went to Bigelow's National Institute for Discovery of Science, NIDSci,
Oh shit!
which Harry Reid's on the payroll of.
Ugh. So this is kind of a laundering scheme.
And then a bunch of their friends who are ex-military or, various government officials all got on payroll.
This is a laundering scheme.
And to increase public attention, they brought on board useful idiot Tom DeLonge from the band Blink-182, who had long been interested in UFOs and had a longtime email correspondent with Chief of Staff of the Clintons, John Podesta, who had spent years feeding UFO propaganda to DeLonge, as proven in the WikiLeaks documents, and then later confirmed by Podesta, saying, yeah, I've been talking to DeLonge about this.
Oh, shit. And I've seen interviews with DeLonge, and poor guy is a true believer, but he is delusional.
DeLonge is on payroll, and he is like their biggest cheerleader and started going around telling people about this place. And now Skinwalker Ranch has a visitor center, and it's a big patch of useless land that's big money. It's got movie deals, books, merchandise.
It's on television
show, and it's even become something of an amusement park where you can visit and go on camping trips and hikes and hope to be abducted or see a Bigfoot. So the truth is there's nothing there.
No, government money made the most expensive tourist trap ever created.
No, Kronk, 200 million, not 2.
Yeah, government money that should have gone to providing our troops with, supplies, supplies that many of our troops had to order themselves out of their own pockets.
And keep in mind that Bigelow is a big campaign and contributor to Reid.
You know what? You know what proves that this was done by politicians and big sideshow tourist trap guys and not professional mibs. Doty's not involved.
Yeah, Doty, Rick Doty. And the thing is, if this had been an operation by Air Force intelligence operative Rick Doty, who is a master, who released the MJ-12 documents, Project Serpo, and one other book, and possibly is connected to Bob Lazar. Unlike Doty's work, and the interesting thing about Rick Doty is he was smart, because often the documents he released were often full of information that's true, spliced in with lots of contradictory information. And it's interesting that the 3 major things he's behind all agree but yet disagree with different narratives. That guy's a master at it.
Well, the fact that
he hired scientists and sci-fi writers to help him with his disinformation.
Well, that, and he was really good about not promising or giving any information that couldn't somehow be corroborated. Right. Even if he created the corroboration, it could still be, quote, verified, like the UFO crash. Right.
But the other thing that's real creepy about Doty is that you never know what parts of his documents are true. Like, and he'll often do things where if you dig, you can find blatant errors. But then, like a decade later, something will come out and it's like, that's fucking true.
Yeah.
And it'll have been in one of his ops.
It's like, wait
a minute. Like the whole Nimitz stuff. That was creepy as hell.
Yeah, Doty's ops actually make you question reality somewhat.
Well, some of what he puts in, actually, I'd say half of what he puts in might be true.
Yeah.
And, a lot of the science in it, he does this beautiful balance of stuff that's absolutely true and then something that's just crazy and fake. But convincing enough. This is just sloppy. This is an amusement park.
Yeah, this is incredibly sloppy. Look, the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland is more convincing than this place.
So, should we
go through the chat?
Go through questions.
I think
I don't
we
know if I've
should.
just disappointed everyone. If you were hoping that I would explain some story about how my people are involved and or if there was some sort of dimensional rip there or something.
Well, I'm sure your people, like you said, had at least buzzed the place
Yeah,
once
well,
in a
it's
while.
the Pacific Northwest, of course.
Yeah, but what is, other than, random objects flying in the air to a certain extent?
Well, we've got that base in Mount Shasta.
Yeah, I don't buy for a single second anything that
You
is
remember
said.
the first time I took you to that base and we had the room alone?
Yeah, it was steamy.
Mount Shasta. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah.
It was smoky.
And I showed you my probe.
What was I saying? I legitimately forgot what I was saying. You got me all distracted with
that's the first
with memories.
Usually it's you who does that to me. And now you know why it was important to get married on the bridge of the Enterprise.
Yes, it was, with a Ferengi. Mad Ginger, there's supposedly tons of Bigfoots. Okay, so is Bigfoot the name of a species then? LK, I've always thought Bigfoot is a particular Sasquatch native to Northern California, separate from the Yeti. I had two, so I wasn't sure.
I thought it was a race thing where Yetis were white and Bigfoots were brown or Latinx.
Well, I always thought that Yetis were, part of glacial areas, or at least mountainous. But maybe it's like with stoats and
the snow ape.
No, maybe it's like with ermine and stoats, where they're called a different thing depending on what season it is, because it's the color of their coat.
That's a good point.
Ermines and stoats are the same creature. Fiona Wolf, yes, it's the other human offshoot, the Hulkies.
How about Munchies?
Was it Nuki?
Nuki, yeah.
Neostar Productions. Never mind Bigfoot. What's the story of Owlmen?
Okay, I'm notating that. We can look into that.
Owlmen. What, like owl bears?
Oh, this isn't a cryptid. This is up your alley, right?
Yeah, totally. I am curious about that. Wonder if owlmen are like the Mothman. Fiona, coffee is a holy beverage next to vodka.
So what kind of vodka do you drink, dude? Oh, this is a good one.
Ricky, I heard a TV writer's room had a parrot trained to say, "Stupid idea." That's awesome. That way you could just go, "What the bird said." Does the bird get credit for being part of the writer's room?
This is brutal.
From Mad Ginger, my cockatiel learned the "come here" whistle and used to torture my dog relentlessly by doing it when I called the dog. I actually trained a computer program to do that.
Oh, shit.
Cesario, she hit them with the car and forgot about it. So the Skinwalker crawled dazed and confused to the house.
And decided to eat a horse head.
Well, you got to replenish your strength.
Okay, just pop quiz out there. How many of you seen the episode Werewolf of MST3K where it's a Skinwalker? Just curious.
Like where it drove a car off a bridge?
No, I just want to ask. I really want to know how many people actually seen the episode, because it's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, it's a great episode. That Natalie's hot. Owen, I have a simple explanation for Skinwalker Ranch. Apparently there was a zoonoid, reptoid, and human orgy going on while they were high on acid and bath salts.
Fuck, that is actually a better explanation than Harry Reid's a douchebag.
Yeah, it is.
I would prefer that answer.
I would love to see. I would pay money to see that. Neostar, I kind of miss Adventures in Awful. You guys had hilarious riffs on those comics. Well, we do plan on doing some live recordings of that.
I got to print up that preview chapter to the Faith novel.
Yes, because I'm ready to do it. I feel salty.
You're ready to talk about a fatty superhero?
Yes, I am. I have rage in me. Casey Scott, real alien abduction insurance? Whoa. Yeah, it's real. And again, if you guys are interested, I can get you that phone number.
Okay, let's see.
LK, Discovery Kids had a good, interesting sci-fi show about a group of kids at a boarding school that sat on an area of weirdness. I didn't know about that. Okay.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it does. I mean, especially if it was actually, teaching. So, Endless Nocturne, humanity's first treaty with Ishi's people must have reparations for all the cows they stole and lost wages from abductions. I see that as,
Yeah, that's probably a pretty reasonable request. Actually, the first treaty occurred, I believe, in 1954, in which Ike met with us. I believe it was it Hulliman Air Force Base, or was it, I forget the other location, which led up to the Crystal Night exchange program, where we sent, one of our guys here and 10 of your guys went to our planet. It was, but no, actually, the thing was, if the history books are correct, my history books, not yours, Ike was a pretty good guy. The thing is, Roswell had been a test. We purposely crashed a ship, two dead, one alive, just to see how you would react. And you guys were perfect gentlemen. I mean, you ran EBE-1 straight off to the hospital. You tried your best to patch him up. You took him to a nice base, kept him comfortable. When you guys finally did meet officially with us, Ike, maybe it's because he was a good Christian, I don't know, 2 coffins with the dead bodies in them. He returned us the dead. He gave us EBE-1. He said, unfortunately, he was so sick he didn't make it. But, perfect gentleman. We said, we can make a treaty with this guy. And we told him what was going on and how we screwed up, and that our women didn't have tits, and that we'd lost some very major things due to genetic engineering. And I said, look, your people won't remember the abductions. It won't hurt. It'll all be fine. We just want to get some genetic material, and we'll give you some nice tech to deal with those damn reds. Yeah, it went well. Meanwhile, we tried the same exact test 11 months later after Roswell in 1947. We tried the same thing in Russia. Crashed a UFO near one of their bases, right? Russians got out there. You know what they did? Shot the fuck out of them. Dead. And we decided, you know what? We're not working with these people.
Well, from what you're saying, it sounds like at least with Americans, cows were part of the deal.
Yeah, I think Ike was under the impression we were only going to abduct a couple. I think if he'd known, he probably would have asked for more.
Well, that's why you read the fine print.
But you got anti-grav and fiber optics and CDs. I mean, come on. I mean, it's a pretty good deal. Velcro, Kevlar.
Yeah.
Some good TV shows.
Like which ones?
The X-Files. It would have never happened without us, right?
True. Very true.
We gave you a licensing agreement on our image.
And Dodie was a executive consultant.
Right. Show. It was like, you said, we'll give you free use of our visage.
Free royalty use of your image, huh?
Yeah. Let's see, stealth technology. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find a good one here.
Couldn't anyone theoretically farm UFOs? That's from NeoStar. Now, do you mean like farm them, like put them in the ground and watch them grow? Or do you mean like farm on a UFO?
Okay. LK is talking about reptoid propaganda.
Oh,
this is some sick shit.
Okay. And there was another cartoon where the dinos were aliens, and another one where some kids were injected with dino DNA and could transform into dinos.
That is reptoid propaganda. That is some sick shit. You know what? They're trying to con kids into participating in their fucked up adrenochrome harvesting scheme, because they're international or intergalactic drug dealers is what they are.
So I gotta ask then, The TV show Dinosaurs. Was that the reptoids missing the mark, or was that an op by your people?
No. Hollywood. Now, back in the 70s, it was different. Hollywood's going to
That
completely.
wasn't 70s.
No. The 70s
Oh.
were different.
Okay.
Now, or even the 90s were different, but nowadays, Hollywood is completely infiltrated by the reptoids. You know what? By the 90s, when dinosaurs came, that was one of their attempts to make you love them as much as everyone loved The Simpsons.
And because they're not human, they had no idea that that damn baby was really annoying.
Right. Well, I mean, look, the longer the reptoids have controlled Hollywood, have the films gotten better?
No, by and large.
No, they're all propaganda now.
Mm-hmm. Endless Nocturne, merchandising, where the real money from laundering schemes is made. Indeed. And Vegas is all about that. LK, that's what they want you to think. It's the old hiding in plain sight method of hiding the truth. Chris P, how much of a slice of that 200 million went into Dingy Harry's pockets?
I'm actually going to guess that 200 million was peanuts compared to the amount of money that investment of 2 million made them in merchandise and TV and movie deals that went into Harry's pocket, as well as a few other people.
Matt Ginger, DeLong delusional.
Yeah, DeLong is delusional. He is a useful idiot to a T.
Yeah, I actually feel bad for him. Because you hear him talk, and he truly believes this shit. Just, dude, I'm sorry. I mean, the truth is out there. It's just not at Skinwalker Ranch.
He's in the grips of something even worse than the reptoids.
Yes.
Democrats. John Podesta. Well, okay, Podesta is a reptile, but Harry Reid.
Oh. Sounds like a porno name. Harry Reid. Cooper Clark, how many alien documents does it take to get to learn shit about anything? The world may never know. Like licking a Tootsie Pop. Wolf 10. Grr, a show about Y species and you didn't call me up. Wolf, wait, you wait your turn.
Wolf, we would have brought you on, except, as you see, there's nothing about your species. Not in the least. I mean, it's about Democrats. and Nevada hucksters.
That was about snakes and con artists.
Exactly.
That actually they have very little to say about Bigfoots or Sasquatch
and the werewolf stories were kind of minimal.
Well, okay, again, a werewolf that ignores the human in order to eat a horse.
In front of them.
In front of the human. And ignores the fact that the humans are shooting at it. Even if it was like a bear where the bullets don't mean anything, bears get annoyed when you do that. They're gonna swat you. Indy Dave, Bigfoot and Sasquatch are the same. The Air Force had to save them from Mount St. Helens after the eruption in the 80s. I would believe that.
Yeah, well, the thing is the corruption in the military is anyone above colonel, it's an iffy thing. They may be on our side, they may not. The Pentagon's full of, colonels and above who are just collecting a check and ripping us off. But anyone below colonel is fair chance they're really on the side of the angels here, and especially anyone below sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
So, they mean well for the most part.
Mad Ginger. I remember a TV show called Werewolf from like 88. It was really good for a while.
How about She-Wolf of London?
Oh, I remember that show.
That actually wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't.
Kind of ahead of its time.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that it only had, 9 episodes?
Yeah.
Aged Boomer. I saw that Mystery Science Theater episode. It starred the same actors that were in Scanner Cop. Really? Georgia Cav, please don't tease us. I miss Adventures in Awful almost as much as I miss my grandma.
The thing is we would do them, but I'll be honest with you, they take about 3 weeks of work. And that last one, I worked my ass off on it.
And that took you nearly a month and a half, honestly.
Yeah, and you put all this time into an episode that can be anywhere between 25 minutes to, almost an hour, right? You work your ass off, you put it up, and one, you don't get any new subscriptions. Your subs actually go down. No one's supporting us on Subscribestar at that point. And then it gets pulled immediately, like within a week. And it's like, I'd been at it for a year. We had been at this for a year, producing one a month, as well as extra short shows. And it had done fuck all for us as far as subscribers or anything. I mean, everyone seemed to love them, but it just no traction, nothing. And it finally just came down to, I'm a writer and you're an editor and we've got jobs. Well, my job is being a writer. And it was too much of an investment for almost nothing other than pats on the back.
And I know many of you out there were promoting the show, and we definitely thank you.
And we had
a
handful of people who did give to us on Subscribestar that made that last episode possible.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it did. But it just,
well, again,
it's a morale killer to work that hard and see almost nothing for it and then have it censored.
Well, we should definitely try to start doing live Adventures in Awful. So no, it won't have the little side jokes and things like that, but it's still fun going over these things and ripping into them. So, Elton, how can we humans identify reptoids and stuff? Is there a tool? If there is, can it be sunglasses?
There needs to be sunglasses. Okay, the first one is...
That's why you have your sunglass eye nictating membranes.
Then the first part of it is, they'll slip up, especially if they're drunk, and their eye will turn into that slit pupil. That's one way. Another one is if somebody you know real well or someone that has a complete and total shift in personality, that's another interesting, if they suddenly become sociopathic, start wearing really, really out of character clothing, it's a hint. If like in 8 days, their complete visage changes and their mannerism change, like Kamala Harris did recently, that's a hint that they've been devoured and replaced by a reptoid. I mean, no, look at the pictures. Let me get the picture if I can.
Oh my God. You're going to, how to spot a reptoid. It's almost as fun as spot the loony.
Spot the loony. Let's see. What did I do with it? I may not have it. But those are some minor ways. Other ones would be suddenly worshiping Satan. That's a kind of a dead giveaway right there.
Surprise Satan.
Yeah, surprise Satan. Suddenly drinking blood's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Fangs.
It's not just being goth.
No. There's a real distinct difference between vampire fangs and lizard fangs, Mm-hmm. Split tongue, that's another one.
You sure that's just not going to Burning Man? Getting the that slit tongue body mod?
You want to explain? Explain that to me.
Oh, some people, many who are into body modification, and I just brought up Burning Man to call upon an image to mind of the type of person who may get this done. Not all of them do. But people who are into body mods will oftentimes cut their tongue in half so that they've got the split snake tongue.
Okay, here's your giveaway. Okay, you're asking, is there a way to tell? Now, on the left is Kamala Harris.
Are you sharing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the little thing that says you were sharing.
This is Kamala Harris here 8 days ago. She disappears for 8 days. Nobody hears from her. 8 days later, suddenly she doesn't look like Kamala Harris anymore. Different skin tone, eyebrows changed, gap in the teeth.
If it wasn't for the fact that I know that that came from a video of her talking, I'd say it was almost photoshopped.
Nose is slightly changed. See, the nostrils have kind of raised and gotten wider, like a lizard.
Mm-hmm.
Black, soulless eyes. Look at the neck. Neck's completely rubbery now. Hairline's raised. That's because really, that skin was grown over this. She can shed that skin and she'll look just like this. There you go. So
the botched Botox is a cover story.
That's some pretty extreme Botox botching, don't you think?
Well, yeah, but I've seen worse.
That's like a botched chainsaw job,
I've seen that too. Elton, in Brazil, they would probably take the Greys for a drink and a barbecue. You need to go to Brazil.
Yeah, we need to go to Brazil. Women are really hot in Brazil too.
And Brazilian barbecue is delicious.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you've never had Brazilian barbecue, do it.
Artificer Joni. Now, I started thinking about this show, and I saw this show I saw as a kid. Has a kid traveling space and dimensions with a girl and her grandfather. Chasing them were this uniformed pair of lady and gentleman.
Okay.
Okay, a kid with a girl and her grandfather being chased by Team Rocket. That actually does sound familiar. I just can't think
Pokemon?
of it. No. No, it actually does sound familiar. I just can't think of what that is. Georgia Cav, I haven't even heard of Subscribestar until you moved Adventures in Awful there, and I subscribed. Thank you. But I understand the lack of ROI. It sucks, but you got to focus on what pays the bills, and if AIA doesn't, it doesn't. Yeah, no, it's fun, you guys. It's a lot of fun, and that's why we're going to start doing live shows with it.
As it is, this live format, we can manage this and do our jobs. I can write, you can be an editor and help the world with their health. And also,
resuscitate stories.
The other thing is doing these live shows actually makes up for the fact that we have zero social life at this point.
That's very true.
We get to have friends. We leave it, by the end of an Adventures in Awful, I needed a week just to clear my brain and to feel better, because it had been, hours and days just staring and listening to these horrible stories and hating them.
And Tom King nearly
and being
broke your
filled
soul.
with rage. I remember Voyagers.
Yeah, okay, it's not Sliders. Doesn't sound like Voyagers. Do you remember the network or time frame to Artificer Joni?
Oh, they couldn't see the picture I was sharing. Let me go nab it. So we're going to probably wrap this up in a few minutes, but what should we do next, do you think? I mean, we've had some requests. Skinwalker Ranch was a big one. There's been talk about yokai, of course. There's been talk of other cryptids, which is your territory. Okay. What do you think?
Oh, there's so many different things.
I think we need to bring the orc on. I've been actually I've been in talks with a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, I don't know, whatever the hell you call them, possibly coming on the air. We do need to get the werewolf on the air.
Yes.
Did any of these sound? You need to talk to the orc.
I do need to talk to the orc.
Yeah, Humphrey, yeah. Very, very unique individual, him. Okay, this is what I was talking about Kamala Harris, okay?
It's loading, and on it is.
Look at this. On the left, that's 8 days difference. This woman was devoured and replaced. The alien, or the reptoid, ate this woman and grew this skin that vaguely looks like her over the reptoid body. We all on the same page?
Yes.
Okay, we've got some comments and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Will there be a show on ESP?
Oh, that would be fun.
Oh, that's a very good one.
Yeah, my people are telepathic, so yeah, I could definitely talk about that. We could talk about the Ryan Institute.
Yeah.
We can talk about various quantum explanations for it, hyperspace. We could talk about experiments that involve electrocuting students.
Yeah. Electrocuting students is always good.
Cat and the cryptid. Yeah, actually, since you're the cryptid expert, you'd be the one that really needs to interview Bigfoot.
Totally. Ask him if he's related to the skunk ape. Cooper Clark. You guys know how James Teenan's, I'm totally slaughtering that name, recent Batman run was really good. Guess what? They're calling each other Bat and Cat again. I've never wanted to die more after learning that. Ugh. I had only just recently heard that run was good. So the fact that they killed it as quickly as, just as soon as Goodwill was starting, I wish I could say I'm shocked.
They're incapable of fixing anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to blame that on the low resolution camera, but Reptoid is as good an explanation.
Yeah, it's the eyebrows and the teeth, man. Mm-hmm. Camera won't change that.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Acid Trip wants Mothman.
Oh, Mothman.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us on Ishi's Great Big Alien Show.
Yes, thank you all.
Sorry to disappoint you all that there's nothing supernatural happening at Skinwalker Ranch. It's an amusement park.
Yeah.
But if you look in the description, we have 3 new Great Big Alien Show t-shirt designs.
Yes, we do.
And we're probably going to get a 4th one going pretty soon. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in supporting the show that way, check out the shirts.
Endless Nocturne. Ishi, you draw a lot of mythical creatures to yourself. Orcs, werewolves, wizards, artificers, talented comic artists who don't push woke nonsense.
Yeah, I know.
They might as well be unicorns.
Exactly. Well, there is an experience abductees have all described, and that is that once they come into contact with Greys specifically, a certain level of awareness starts to open up in their mind, and synchronicity is essentially their field changes. And it's still kind of unsure. We ourselves are unsure if the interaction between us and the human just makes them more receptive and they see the world differently. They can actually start picking up on what's going on around them, hence putting on the sunglasses from They Live, or if actual supernatural events start becoming drawn to them afterwards. I'm more inclined to think that really once their mind opens up to the possibility that little gray men are sticking things in their ass, you just start seeing the world differently. You start becoming aware of more of what's around you. The possibilities, your mind stops erasing things from reality for you. So, with that, good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.